sit. Makes it more comfortable. So, I have a cheat sheet out. So as Brian said, you know, I worked my way up through the ranks of, I'm a high school graduate. I didn't go to college. I spent 1 or 2 semesters at the old Camden County Community College back in 1969, 70. And, I knew from early on that I wanted to work for myself, you know, because I'd been a dishwasher, and back before the casinos came, we had a racetrack in South Jersey, Garden State Racetrack, and there were tons of great restaurants around there. And I landed at the Rickshaw Inn, where I spent about 6, 7 years of my early career, doing all different kind of jobs, and you know, it was action-packed. I loved it. I said, this is for me, you know. It was like, I came from a family of 7, you know. My father was a warehouse worker, and I'd be working the rickshaw. People would be out eating like lobster on Tuesday nights, you know, and living it up, and had the bar scene was good. The restaurant was busy, pretty crazy back then. Everybody, you know, you got paid every night, so you kind of, I don't know if you call it a party, but you live day to day. And I love the way the waiters were all living, and the way the whole business went, and I love being around the money, you know, all the people. So that was a big driver for me at the very beginning. It was strictly financial. So I thought I would work for myself, and you know, so as college went on, you know, most of my friends, we didn't go to college. Everybody, even all my friends today, they were still the same guys from grammar school. They all work for themselves, whether they're carpet layers, bricklayers. Some guys have real estate businesses now, but we all ended up working for ourselves. So we were, I guess, kind of entrepreneurial from the very beginning. You know, we probably all should have went to college, but we didn't. So, you know, for me, I was lucky. I knew early on what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the restaurant business, and I think anyone who latches onto something they want to do early on, you're really fortunate, because you can, you know, you can start drawing the target to hit things, and you know, everybody knows you can't hit a target unless you have one. So my target became to have a restaurant one day, and so I was working down the casinos. I moved on. I was down the casinos working. And I leased a kitchen in Margate, New Jersey. That was the college town back then. It was loaded with bars. And if anybody knows the greenhouse in Margate, it used to be just a greenhouse with a bar in the basement and a huge parking lot. And that was my first time owning my own business, more or less. I didn't own the bar, but I leased the kitchen for the season. At $1,600 a season. He paid for all the utilities. He paid the waitresses, but I got to hire them. And you know, we served a ton of food. We ripped the parking lot off in the daytime for seats. We'd have 400 seats, and you know, we killed it. You know, so I had a really good business going there. And my 3rd year, he died. So his family came in and sold it, and I was out. And from there, I went and I had an arcade, and I was doing that. That was real popular then. And a buddy of mine was watching my games, and one day he said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to own a restaurant." So he tipped me off to this place up in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. I went up, and I bought my first bar and restaurant for, it was a big building, I still have it today, it's 30 years, for $72,000. And went in there, and you know, my dream at that point was to have a restaurant. I had it, and I wasn't thinking I was going to get any bigger. I was just going to sit tight, and this was going to be it for a long time. And that's what I did for 10 years, you know. Drank a lot of beer, built a kitchen, and started serving people, and I enjoyed it. But I was always working. You know, I was always at work. So buddies of mine had bars down in South Jersey. And we compared notes, and they were always golfing, going to Notre Dame meetings. I said, "How do you guys get away?" And they were cooking buffalo. They said, "We're just selling buffalo wings and beer." So I said, "That's it." So I went to Allentown, Pennsylvania, made another deal on a bar. Met an old guy who tried to sell me his bar. I gave him $100. We shook hands, and he sold me his bar. And he held the mortgage. It was for 400-something thousand. I didn't buy the bar for it. But it was 400-something thousand, but he held the mortgage. This guy, I mean, I was not mortgageable with the bank at all. But you know, I had the guts to shake the guy's hand and sign some contracts and go into business. And I started buffalo wings and beer, just like my buddies had told me they were doing, and it just shot. You know, it took off. And that's when I realized, you know, what I was going to be doing in the restaurant business. You know, I've done some fine dining up at Platzer, my first place, because that's why I learned. You know, that's what I worked in, well, mostly fine dining places. And times were changing, white tablecloth restaurants were on their way out at that time. So I did that Buffalo Wing Bar, and things got really good, and I wanted to move back home. I moved up to Lehigh, Pennsylvania, but I'm from Pennsauken, and I wanted to get back home and be around my friends, so that's what I did. I bought a house in Haddonfield, a small row home, and I moved down, and by now I had the fever. You know, I was looking for other bars and restaurants, and I was going into one in Haddonfield, and they didn't have any business, and what business they did have, the bartender was stealing, because I had a pretty good eye. I was watching what was going on. So I knocked on her back door one day, and, you know, I had some really good luck in the beginning. That's how I really got started. And this lady started crying, told me God sent me, you know, because she wanted to get out so bad. And she held the mortgage also. I gave her a little bit of money down, she held the mortgage. And again, that place, it was dead for so long, but it was a great spot. If anybody knows PJ's in Haddonfield, Westmont, that was the spot, and that really took off also. 9 months later, a guy knocks on my door, says, "You want to buy this other bar over in Maple Shade?" PJ's across the Morristown Wall, and he says, "I'll give you the same deal as Jadwiga." That was this lady's name. I said, "How you know her?" He said, "She's my next door neighbor." He said, "I went out too." I said, "Same deal?" He said, "Same deal." I said, "Deal." You know, just like that. I mean, that was easy. So I bought 3 bars in a row with no money, basically. And, you know, so that's how I went on. And my business started growing from there, and I kept, you know, I never had the big target, like where I was really gonna end up. I just knew after a while I would need another one, because that's where the rush was, you know, for me. I really enjoyed getting it, turning it around, and making something out of it. And, so as I was building my business, how did I do more than 1 or 2 was attract good people. I built a really good network of young people working for me, and I was good to them, you know. I was easy to work for. We had a good time at work. They're long hours, and there's a lot that goes on, but I just got really faithful, good people, and a lot of them are still with me today. You know, they've grown up, they have different positions with me now, and they came as single people just like you guys. And now they're married and 3 kids. You know, we can close bars too much anymore at 3 o'clock in the morning, but, you know, we adjust with them. And we always adjusted with everybody who worked with us. Every semester, we would sit down with everybody and, you know, find out what their availability was. So you wouldn't just like lose your shifts if all of a sudden you couldn't work what you were working. We always maneuvered that. And, throughout my career, everything I get from people that are giving me comments about my business, it's always about the staff. So we built a really nice network of people that we all respected one another, we took care of one another, they've become lifelong friends of one another. You know, some of them, you know, around 30 years now. And they've been in one another's weddings, and they've moved on to other things, but they still come back all the time. I often think I should have taken a picture of all of them and put it up on the wall. It would have been a cheap decoration, everybody would have been interested in keep coming back and seeing yourself over the years. But that's what we did, and, you know, I had hard times. I had times when, you know, the money wasn't good, but I was pretty good at robbing Peter and paying Paul. It's not a practice I would recommend. If you can go a little slower, I guess. But I just had opportunities of